Welcome to the Power Foods Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Kristy Jo, mind and body strategist, fitness nutrition specialist, and weight loss specialist. You're listening to episode number 233, Postpartum and Breastfeeding, Part 3. I'm passionate about helping you learn how to become a strategist of your own health and body using science-backed evidence, anecdotal principles proven effective in my coaching, and psychological awareness. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Okay, PFL champs, let's now move into today's discussion. This is part 3 of the postpartum and breastfeeding dialogue we've been sharing, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've been kind of dreading doing this episode because today I'm going to talk about body image and the mindset behind postpartum body. It's something that at 8 weeks postpartum myself, 8.5, almost 9 actually, I have definitely experienced all sides of it in terms of the dark, in terms of the light, the gratitude, the self-degradation, all of it. It's been really, really challenging for me. And it's been something that I've been a little bit brave to share and be vulnerable with my feelings on my pregnancy Instagram account, which I just recently changed the tag to pregnancyjourney_KJ. The reason I changed it is because I'm not really teaching the principles that are what I teach in the book. If you want to get the book, the link is there as far as Power Foods pregnancy goes. But this account is more about me sharing my journey through the pregnancy and now postpartum. And it's something that I plan to return to with each new child that comes to our family. We are in the baby years, being in our mid-30s, and so we probably will be cranking at the healthy speed, but hopefully fingers are crossed that we'll be able to have the number of children we would like. So I do believe I will be pregnant or nursing for the next 8 to 10 years. Whew, that sounds challenging, but it's something that I know I need to personally really get behind the feelings, the awareness, the acceptance of what happens with our bodies during this process, or else I'm going to be up a creek with a lot of dark feelings for the next few years. And perhaps you listening to this, you're on the other side. Maybe you've already had all your children. Maybe you're in the middle of having your children. Maybe you are thinking about getting pregnant, or you want to be prepared for when you get pregnant. So wherever you are in your journey, I hope that the things I share and my vulnerability will at least get you thinking. And if more than that, I'd prefer a conversation, maybe with you and your partner, or you and your friends, your family, or I'm always happy to have that conversation with you in one of my coaching appointments. It's one of the most interesting things to me. I sometimes take on this feeling of I should be able to just not have any issues. I should be able to just power through any emotion I experience because I have all the tools. After all, I'm a coach. I have coached over 5,000 women. I know what this is like. But then right in the middle of telling myself that, I step back and say, wait a minute, aren't you a human? Don't you have emotions? Yes, you have tools in your tool belt. But that's exactly what you need to do, is coach yourself through this. And so I, again, appreciate your willingness to let me do that in front of you, to be vulnerable with the human side of the feelings, but then also the tactics and the tools that are required in order to find solutions and find happiness and joy through this process. Perhaps there are a lot of people who really don't care what they look like or how they feel in their body or how their health is. And if that is the type of person that I'm talking to, then I probably would come across as very egocentric and narcissistic. And I certainly don't believe that about myself. I believe I'm very health focused. I am mindful. I like to feel good. I like to feel agile and fit and healthy and have my abilities to do the things I love, like hike and ride bikes and play and rough tumble with my nieces and nephews and to teach dance. I love to dance. I love it. And when I am weighing more than I know my body's set point that it feels good is, it takes down my confidence because I can't move the same. So I've recognized those are my personal body truths. What are yours? Do you have them? Have you thought about that? Because the world is very, very quick to tell us what we should or shouldn't look like. And then if we disagree with what the world tells us, then what we're going to do is spend our time backpedaling and fighting against it. And we're going to serve one of two extreme masters, where I think the point is to find our own temperate point that is right for us and to step back and not judge other people, not even get to the point where we're concerned about other people. We can learn and evaluate what others are doing, and if we want those results, if we think that that's worth it to us. But anyhow, I digress. I would like to move into just a few of the feelings I've had, and then move into how we can begin to combat negative body image, self-talk, feelings of discouragement, and darkness about our bodies in a postpartum situation. The biggest thing I just wanted to discuss, kind of going back to my self-truth about my body, is that I've had a very intense fear ever since I was in my early teens. I can remember as far back as age 14. That's at a time when you're very aware of the people around you. You're aware of what mothers are around you and their habits, their outcomes, what they look like, the types of traits they have. And for some reason, I picked up this absolute fear that if I were to have babies, which I absolutely planned on from being a young girl, I wanted that. I wanted to be a wife and a mother, that I wouldn't be able to lose the weight. And I feared that. And it generated this, I don't know what, this kind of little monster inside of me. As many of you know, the story goes that I continued to get worse and worse in my disordered eating, and it really became absolutely problematic to the point it was taking me down in my life, with depression, with suicidal thoughts. And at the age of 25, that's when everything changed for me, and I was able to make a very hard U-turn. And since that point, I've been on the trajectory I'm on. I'm very grateful I didn't end up getting married until later. Once I kind of had a little bit better grip on all of this, I do wonder sometimes what would have happened if I did get married when I was in the throes of all the body hate and loathing and feelings of inadequacy. Not that I've never experienced those since, but I've had much better tools in my tool belt. And so realizing where some of these dark feelings have come from, I had to dig deep within myself and say, why are you feeling this way? You know the process. Your body took 9 months for the abdominal wall to stretch out. I did gain. For my body, I would say significant. I know that relativity is a terrible tool, so please don't use it. But for my body, I gained 20 pounds in the first trimester, which that was before my bump was even showing. That's how I combated morning sickness. That was my survival mode. I, at the time, was coaching drill team early in the morning, taking them to Disney World for finals and state and nationals. I was teaching another dance at a dance studio. I was coaching 2 other teams there. I was teaching over 35 hours a week. And that wasn't even my main income job. My main income job was Body Buddies, what this podcast used to be and the business used to be. I was catering to clients. I was teaching webinars. I was podcasting. I was trying to be everything to everyone, and yet here I was with this terrible morning sickness. And it's not like I could just cancel my life. I had obligations. I had commitments. I was also running judging things for dance competitions and helping to educate judges. So it was really a difficult time, and I medicated with food. Not even medicated, that's probably not the right word. I survived on food. Chick-fil-A crispy chicken sandwiches, Domino's late at night, Fritos and Yoplait yogurts were about all I could eat in between teaching dance classes. I couldn't take any caffeine because the moment I knew I was pregnant, I cut just all caffeine. So I was tired. I was underslept, having to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to go and coach drill team. Oftentimes I wouldn't get home from teaching studio dance or drill team at night until 10:30. I was a newlywed. I had only been married 3 or 4 months, and things were really difficult. And so as I process through this with you right now, I'd like to offer myself some grace. Did I do my best at that time? Yeah. It was so hard for me to eat vegetables. I'm the veggie girl. I can talk circles around why they are so critical. Yet there I was, couldn't even stomach the sight of them. I was in the middle of doing my keto challenges, and I had to plate all of the different meals and do the food videos. I can remember when I cooked salmon for one of the meals, and I was actually on the phone with a client while I was pulling the salmon out of the oven, and I told him, I said, I am so sorry, will you please give me a moment, because the smell was just too much. And I ran out the door and threw up in the front yard, and I just had to get out of the house. And Oh, the memories. I'm sure each of you listening to this can, smile and add to the library of stories of morning sickness and just how terrible it is. And if you're someone that didn't experience morning sickness, then I'm so excited for you. But anyway, I realized that my significant weight gain in terms of body fat did come from that period of time. Once my morning sickness went away, I didn't gain too much more body fat. I did gain in terms of blood volume, in terms of the placenta growth, the baby growth. And I know this because I tracked everything very, very closely because I needed to know. I needed to be able to separate my logic from my irrational thoughts and worries. That's just the type of person I am. That's what I coach people to do as well. And I am that voice of let's get the emotion out, let's look at the data, let's be more rational. And we all need people like that in our lives. And so, again, I'm going to take that opportunity to offer myself grace. Did I do the best I could for the time I was in and what I was combating at that time? Yes. Is that something you can also say? Is that something that you can admit to yourself as you reflect back on your pregnancy journey? Did you do your best at the time you were there? Or were you intentionally, even if you were intentionally sitting there saying, I'm pregnant, I can eat for 2, whatever, I'm already gonna gain weight and, get some more body fat on me, so bring on the cupcakes, whatever your attitude was, that probably was you doing your best because perhaps you just didn't have it in you for whatever else was going on emotionally, intellectually, physically, emotionally, that there was just nothing else, no room to give for you to push further than that. So self-awareness and grace, and also some self-forgiveness. I forgive myself for not making portion control a bigger priority. Even though educationally, yes, I knew I didn't need more calories. I think we all know that. I'd say most of us know that. The information's out there. You only need extra calories perhaps in the 3rd trimester. And at that, it's like, a few extra palmfuls of nuts and seeds or an extra half an avocado. I mean, we're talking 200 to 300 calories. It's really not much budgeroom at all. Let's understand why we are where we are, and let's forgive ourselves for whatever we did lack and give grace to ourselves for what we did our best in. I now want to go through a few articles that I looked up that I thought were really good and offered some helpful insights into what we can do to combat that negative voice in our head. In fact, right now as I look in my office, I'm looking at my huge whiteboard. It's about 2 feet tall by 4 feet long, and it hangs on my wall right now. It has all my goals written on it. I have a category of spiritual, social, physical, intellectual, and then my monthly goals. And I have an extra little line because, in Body Buddies, we have 4 goals. We do we do nutrition, we do fitness, mindset, and spirituality. And so there's some overlap. My church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, just barely came out with this approach in the youth program. And so I've kind of adopted that and expanded the goal setting each week. And so for the mental, I put kick the naughty, mean voices out. What happened to me was the other day, I have recognized how easily I get sucked into the Fitspo and the comparison of other relatively fit, inspirational or educator, like personal trainer type Fitspo on Instagram. And there was a time I definitely considered myself one of them, but I wouldn't say that now. I really consider myself just a mom who likes to podcast and coach people and help them out. That's really the extent of my business at this point. Anyhow, I still do compare myself to those types of ladies, and I have been very diligent at trying to unfollow and reduce the number of people I do follow, because I just recognize it sucks up my time. It's a trigger for me unless it's somebody that I really like, I'm gonna go to lunch with. It's not good for me to spend my time doing that. And so that's just a personal thing that I've been working on. But then one of my close friends actually posted on her story, and she had tagged this kind of Fitspo person that I was aware of. I knew that this person had had a C-section. I knew she had had her baby 2 months before me, and I was curious, and curiosity got the best of me, and I clicked that stupid tag. and I went to her account and I started scrolling her posts, watching her videos, reading her captions. And truth be told, she really didn't seem to have much of a fat loss journey. Obviously, she needed to have a strength journey to get that strength back and to heal and so forth. But in terms of losing extra body fat, she seemed to hit her pre-pregnancy weight pretty darn quickly. And I compared myself to that and suddenly started totally being naughty to myself in my head. If she could do it, what was wrong with you that you gained all that body fat? You're just a weak person. You just didn't have what it takes. You shouldn't even be someone that teaches other people about nutrition and mindset. Obviously, you're a failure. Why would anyone ever believe that you know what you're talking about? And yada, yada, yada. And it got really yucky and I tailspin down. What happens when that happens to me is I go very quiet, and my sweet husband knows that I'm probably processing things mentally. And so he just kind of gives me my space. And because he knows when I'm ready to talk, I have the state of mind that when I'm ready, I will go to him if I need some processing or solutions or opinions and things like that. But this was a night I kind of just spent on my own, silent and angry. And, the type of angry that if I klutzily dropped something, which happens to me a lot these days, it's kind of odd. Is that a mom thing? That I would freak out and growl and yell in frustration. It just goes to show how deep that angst was inside of me. I'm like, this is not me. So anyhow, I don't know if you can relate to any of that. I don't know if you're just nah, it wasn't that big of a deal for me, but maybe at least this gives you a little more understanding about perhaps what some people go through. Some of the private messages that have been sent to me on Instagram when I am vulnerable and share these feelings, they tell me that this is normal. They tell me that they go through this too. And so I gain courage from hearing things like that. And I do appreciate hearing your stories as well, because it does, number one, help me as a female to female. It helps me not feel alone. And it also gives me insight into greater perspective as I coach. That's something that I can never have enough of, is perspective. So let's go ahead and move into how we can all together work on an improved body image. The first article I've chosen is from Motherly, which I have actually subscribed to their blog because I do like the voice, the feeling, the message behind a lot of the things they put out. This article is called Loving Your Postpartum Body, 12 Mantras to Help You Adjust to Your New Shape. I'm going to start in the middle of the article. I challenge you amazing new moms to cut yourself some slack. Give yourself time. And love yourself, your whole self, body, mind, and soul, fully and completely, right now. Not once you lose 5 pounds or can fit into a pair of jeans. I mean right now, as you are listening to this and every time you look in the mirror. The best way to love yourself is to connect with gratitude every day. Gratitude towards yourself for doing everything you needed to do to create, grow, and deliver your child, and gratitude for your amazing body that was able to produce the miracle you are holding in your arms. Remind yourself that both you and your body are in a bit of a limbo state. You are no longer eating for two, and your body no longer houses, nourishes, protects, and carries your baby behind your abdominal walls. And yet the cavernous space your body occupied for 9-ish months still remains vacant and slowly healing. Yes, this feels strange and looks a bit foreign to you. And not only is your stomach stretched from your baby's occupancy, but unless you are one of the few pregnant women who looked like she simply swallowed a watermelon and the rest of her body remained mostly intact, you probably have some extra layers elsewhere as well. And that is okay. Because remember, you are loving your whole self, each and every layer of you. It's hard, I know. You want to feel good and look like yourself again. You don't want to carry extra weight around forever, and you're tired and drained and wonder how you will ever have the energy to do what it will take to lose the weight and get your body back. You question whether you will ever feel sexy again. Trust that you will. And trust that for now, the very best thing you can do is to stay in the present and be kind and patient with yourself. By being loving and compassionate with yourself and your body, you will find that the weight loss will happen more organically and that you will be accepting of your body throughout the whole process. Commit to making an effort to gently catch yourself when you make any kind of self-deprecating or disparaging remark about your body, either out loud or in your head, and challenge those thoughts with loving and compassionate affirmations. Say these out loud whenever you can, and if you can't, then think them deliberately. No skimming, no mumbling. Number 1, my body rocks. It created this gorgeous baby. Number 2, this body nourished my baby in utero for 9 months. By the way, if you're breastfeeding, it still is. Number 3, I will not compare my postpartum body with any other mom's postpartum bodies, especially celebrities, and I will add in Fitspo, nor will I measure the speed at which other moms are losing their baby weight against my progression. Number 4, I will trust my process and be honest with myself. Number 5, I will talk about the feelings I have about my body with my partner or a trusted friend who will remind me to be kind and gentle with myself and remind me of my inner and outer beauty. Number 6, I will have honest conversations with my partner regarding my feelings about my body and sex. Number 7, I will start to incorporate exercise into my daily routine as soon as I am able, and will start slowly, even 10 minutes of gentle stretching, because it will help me feel more connected to my body, increase my energy, and boost my mood. I will gradually add more movement and rigor as I can. I will honor what feels good to my body rather than do whatever exercise I think I should be doing. Number 8, I will not be obsessive about that number on the scale, calorie counting, or fitting back into my skinny jeans. Instead, I will remember that I gained the weight over a 9-month period, so I will give myself time for the weight to come off. I'd like to pause there and offer my personal experience here. Initially, after I had my baby, I swore to myself I would not buy any in-between clothes. I really expected myself to just dial things in and to make a very quick, perhaps 2 to 3 month transition back to my pre-pregnancy weight. By the way, at 9 months postpartum, I still have 19 pounds to go. It doesn't feel formidable, but it does feel that things will be much slower, particularly due to what we talked about in the last podcast episode, which is eating enough calories for breast milk. So there I was looking at my closet every single day. Now I'm the type of person that I do like to get dressed, occasionally. I also love lounging around in my workout clothes or jammies, but at the same time, there's some confidence that comes from keeping a routine and getting dressed. But as I looked at my wardrobe, I knew that none of my pants would fit me. My size that I wear is irrelevant, but I knew that I was 1 to 2 sizes above that, and it caused me a lot of grief. I've been wearing a lot of dresses and skirts and workout pants, and that's about it. When it was Black Friday, I finally broke down and bought myself a few pairs of some jeans in the size I'm at right now. The reason I was worried about doing this is because I didn't want to create this space in my mind where I accepted where I was at, because I don't accept where I'm at. And I know that sounds like a broken statement, but let me explain. I don't accept where I'm at because this is not my end goal. This is not where I'm going to maintain. At least that's not my intention. And so I felt like, okay, if I get a new wardrobe at this size, then I'm creating this subconscious layer that's telling my body that it's okay to stay at this, rather than working back down to where all of my cute, fun wardrobe that I normally wear, the size that those are in. But this past weekend, I was able to confidently wear my larger size jeans out and about on date night and spending some time with some loved ones, doing some fun activities downtown, and I felt good. And in fact, I even remember I looked in the mirror at one point and I told myself, you look good. It doesn't matter what size these pants are, you look good. Now act like you feel good, and that's all other people care about. That was huge for me. Number 9, I will use these words as I approach my weight loss progression. Slow, gentle, accepting, steady, healthy, natural. 10, I will listen to my body's signals and honor them as I need to care for myself so I have the energy to care for my baby. 11, I will not be ashamed of my postpartum body and will wear clothes that are comfortable but are not intended to hide my body. Now I'm not so sure about that one, because drapey shirts and blouses for me right now do give me more confidence. If I needed to wear something tighter around my midsection, I probably would not want to go out of my house. So perhaps we can each interpret that to the level we would like. I mean, I don't wear tents, I don't wear ponchos, but flattering, I think, is the word that we're going towards. Number 12, I will accept that my body may never be exactly the same as it was before I had the baby, just as my heart will never be the same. Both are a blessing. And that's true. And I've never expected my body to look the exact same as before. However, I do know that I have the discipline and the mindset and the education and knowledge of how to get my body fat back down. You know what? I'm not even worried about if I don't have aesthetically perfect abs. Diastasis recti is a really big thing. Right now I have 3 fingers width space between my 2 abdominal walls right below my belly button.
And as long as I'm training them to be functional and strong and not create problems in terms of my movement, I'm not worried about the aesthetics. So I can let that one go. That's easy, whatever. But it's just getting the body fat down. Again, the weight, it hurts my knees to weigh what I weigh. It hurts my back, my scoliosis. It's so severe. It makes a big difference for me. So I'm going to own that there is purpose and reason for me to get down, not just because society tells me to, or because other people tell me to, or it's some expectation, or even that I think it's my husband's expectation of me. Like, all of that is irrelevant. And I will mention this. It is a very important conversation to have with our husbands or partners. And because my private life is private, I'm not going to share any details other than one question I did ask my husband. And I said, I'm going to ask you a really hard question, and I'm not looking for the right answer. I'm not looking for you to say what you think I want to hear. I need to know your honest opinion as the father of this baby. I said, you know, I would love to chisel back down. And you know, I know how to do it, and I have the discipline. But you know that if I do that, I will probably lose my milk. As her dad, where do you place the importance? And as my husband, would you rather see me be happy in my body? I'm sure that would make you happy too, even though you probably wouldn't admit that. But would you rather that and me lose the milk, or would you rather, even if I never changed until the next pregnancy, if this was the body I carried until I was pregnant again, and keep the milk, what would be your preference? And he didn't even blink an eye. He said, keep the milk. I care about the health of our baby. He said, I think you look beautiful and fantastic. And again, like, he's never been one to lie or to coddle or to patronize me. And so I could take him seriously. And I thanked him. I thanked him for his honesty. And do you know what? By having that brief conversation with him, it gave me a lot more confidence, honestly, because I knew that I was doing what was right for our family, instead of creating these thoughts in my mind like he didn't approve of me, or he subtly wished I would just, bounce back or look better, or whatever it be, because our brains do that, don't they? Yes, our husbands, our partners, they love us, abso-freaking-lutely. But I had created this weird voice where there was a but. Yeah, he loves me, but he would be happier if blah, 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 blah. And so again, that was a huge conversation for me to have. And I hope that if that is something that you listening to this, that you can have, I hope that you will take that and do that with your husband or your partner as well. Last but not least, I would like to share an article from Romper, and it's called 9 Ways to Fall in Love with Your Postpartum Body, because it's not always that easy. I'm going to start in the middle of the article. My postpartum body felt foreign to me, and the inner angst that my outer shell was causing me was far from healthy or fair or justified. Eventually, I realized that I was spending way too much time critiquing my body and not nearly enough time appreciating it or loving it or even using it to do the things that I love. It's taken some time, and I feel like it's still a process, but I've developed a mindset that has allowed me to embrace my postpartum body. Recently, a friend of mine had a baby and was feeling some of the same resentful feelings towards her own body that I felt towards mine. Having been through the same emotions, I offered her my own perspective. You need to write that down, she told me, as I could already see the relief in her face. So I did. The following 9 things are a result of that advice and have no doubt helped me fall in love with my postpartum body, despite thinking for a very long time that I would never again wear anything other than yoga pants. If you are struggling with your postpartum body image, my hope is that these things will give you help too. Don't worry about getting your body back. You walked away from giving birth with the same body you had before you were pregnant. Maybe you'll walk away from pregnancy looking exactly like you did before you gave birth. Then again, maybe you won't. I don't look the absolute same way I did before I gave birth, but I can assure you I didn't lose my body somewhere along the way. It might look different, but it's still the same body. So please don't let anyone tell you to get your body back. Wear things that are comfortable. Like I said, it can take some time for your body to return to a place where you are comfortable with it. In the meantime, don't try to squeeze into those skinny jeans just yet, especially if they're not comfortable. After I had my boys, I wore leggings and tunics a lot, and until my other clothes felt comfortable again, even though the number on the scale isn't all that different from when I was sporting tunics on a regular basis, my body looks different because it's had plenty of time to adjust. My skin has tightened and all of my organs are back in their respectful places, and yes, it has made a difference in how I look. I can wear my jeans comfortably now, even though I weigh the same as I did when all I wore was leggings. Try not to stress over your old clothes. I used to look at my college jeans and cry after I had my first son. Yes, really. The thing is, though, those jeans didn't really fit me before I got pregnant, at least not for very, very long. Plus, things shrink over time and once they've been washed enough. Even if I hadn't gained a pound during my pregnancies, there's a good chance that those jeans wouldn't have fit me regardless. Try not to stress too much over the old clothes in your closet because it's likely that they aren't giving you a fair or accurate depiction of your postpartum body. Buy some staple pieces that fit you. This is one of the best pieces of advice I have to offer in terms of feeling comfortable with your body right now. Instead of trying to squeeze into your old clothes, buy yourself a few staple pieces that fit you at the size you are now. That way you won't dread getting dressed since you have some clothes that fit you properly. It's amazing how different you look when you're actually wearing the right size. I didn't want to spend money on something that I assumed I would only be wearing for a few months, especially in a size that I didn't want to accept for myself, but it made a huge difference. Side note, totally my story, right? Before I bought some pants that fit me properly, making a public appearance gave me major anxiety because I felt like all my old clothes that I tried to wear were bursting at the seams. Afterward, I bought clothes that actually fit, and when I didn't care about the size associated with them, I felt like a normal person who didn't want to jump out of her own skin. It makes a major difference. Trust me. Remember that no one is perfect. Really, no one. Even the celebrities you see on television and in magazines have been photoshopped or airbrushed. Chrissy Teigen famously pointed out her stretch marks in one of her Instagram pictures, and women everywhere thanked her for admitting she had them. No one has a flawless body, not even the person whose body you think you'd pay big money for. Please don't hate your postpartum body just because it doesn't look like a celebrity's. After I had my first son, I was working in a medical clinic, and I would frequently ask women to lift their shirts off their stomach for various reasons, and I can assure you that pretty much all of them told me to ignore their stretch marks. We're all a little self-conscious, not just you. Try to get active. Putting your body in motion has so many benefits that have nothing to do with losing weight. I started going to the gym a few months after I delivered my second son, and almost immediately I felt different. I didn't notice a huge difference on the scale, but I did notice a change in how I felt. Being somewhat active again made me feel so energized and able. It helped with my stress and anxiety and boosted my overall mood. I felt good, and that was way more important than looking good, though incorporating some cardio definitely didn't hurt the way my jeans fit me. Set goals. Setting physical goals for yourself is a great way to get and stay motivated. The goals you set don't necessarily have to be about weight either. For me, I wanted to be able to run a mile without stopping. Then once I reached that goal, I made it 2, then 3, and so on and so forth. Then I wanted to run a 5K, and now I've started setting goals for strength training in the short term and bigger things like hiking certain trails in the long run. Whatever it is that you want to do, working towards those goals and actually meeting them will make you appreciate all that your body is capable of, rather than resent it for not looking a certain way. Treat your body well. Your body is a temple and it should be treated as such. Putting good food into it and keeping it active are both great ways to treat your body with the respect it deserves. I was self-conscious for years about my body and after my babies were born, but once I started to focus on all that my body was capable of, my mindset completely changed. Keeping active made me feel strong and eating better made me feel nourished. Just remember to take time for yourself and your body. That might mean going to the gym to work out, going to a spa for a massage, or even just perusing the clearance racks of your favorite store. Either way, treat your body the way you want to be treated. Respect it, appreciate it, most of all, love it, because it gave you a truly beautiful gift, and it deserves your gratitude. I'm really grateful to have spent this time with you. I hope that it has been helpful to you. I know that it's going to be a constant journey and awareness. We need to always bring these things front of mind. That's why I have on my whiteboard the reminder to kick out any of those voices. And you know what? As of the past 2 days, I felt great about my body. And recognizing the need to not compare and to keep myself out of situations where I will compare. That's huge. Because when I look in the mirror and I recognize with gratitude what my body has done, which my goodness, it's miraculous when you go through this, right? It's like, what on earth is my body? You're just the passenger and your body is the driver, and it is powerful. And the fact that it can do this and bring a new child into the world is just beautiful. So I'm going to keep working on myself. And I know that I will continue to improve as I apply these tools, because I'm not going to let this take me down. And I hope you won't either, because we have far more to offer the world than to waste time feeling sorry for ourselves, thinking that we're not good enough, we're not sexy enough, we're not hot enough, comparing to somebody else. No, we have way more to offer the world. So let's step up and let's be those powerful women. Hey PFL champs, if you're not already, go follow Power Foods Lifestyle on Instagram to get helpful reminders, motivation, and education as you move throughout your week. Turn notifications on so you never miss a post. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a review on iTunes or the podcast player you're listening on.
If you're on Facebook, come on over and be a part of our private Facebook group, Power Foods Lifestyle Champions. It's a great place to ask questions and interact with others like you who are working on becoming a strategist of their health and body. You can always reach out to me at powerfoodslifestyle@gmail.com for coaching inquiries. I hope you will continue to make the choice to power your body one meal, one workout, and one day at a time. Have you been feeling stuck in your efforts to lose weight and feel healthier inside and out? If so, consider giving yourself the gift of a personal coach. After all, that's the way we push through the resistance that holds us back and sends us into the same cycle again and again. You don't need to keep giving up, trying, then getting frustrated again. When we work together, we will spend 45 minutes in a coaching call each week. During this time, we will go over the right approach for you. I use no cookie cutter approaches when it comes to my clients. We will discuss macros, target calories, food combinations, foods right for you, vitamins, make shopping lists, program your workouts, discuss the mindsets, fears, obstacles, and doubts you face, basically anything you need to help you reach your goals. It does wonders to have someone to be accountable to each week. You can sign up for just a few weeks of coaching, or you can enroll in a long-term committed plan. Again, we do whatever you need to move you through to your goal. I'm only taking on 8 clients at a time, and my 2020 pricing is as low as $50 a week. Email me at powerfoodslifestyle@gmail.com or shoot me a direct message on Power Foods Lifestyle Instagram account to see my availabilities. Time will pass no matter what. Will you have some change to show for your time? One last reminder, the information in this episode is provided for informational purposes and is not meant to substitute the advice provided by your own physician or medical professional.